Good morning, Calvary, and welcome to our Wednesday update. My name is Amy Anthony, and I am here with Mike and Jane Brzezinski. And Mike and Jane have been at Calvary for around 8 years and are intimately involved with a mission organization in Haiti called Project House of Hope. And they have brought that passion to our church family, and several people from our church have been on trips over there and sponsor children. And so we're here today just to get an update about what's going on with Project House of Hope, and also an exciting opportunity for helping with the Refuge school. So before we get to the exciting opportunity of what's coming up, let's talk a little bit about what happened. It doesn't matter what I say because that's getting edited out. But why don't you tell us a little bit more about Project House of Hope?
Sure. Project House of Hope began around 2013-14 timeframe. Originally focused on orphan care, working with a boys soccer team, and some community outreach. Eventually, though, we helped add in a entire project related to the building of the school and the support of that school itself.
And so with Project House of Hope, I know that a lot of times, especially for those who've been around, that our first thought was it's the orphanage, but it's much more than the orphanage there. And I'm sure quite a few people as well know that Haiti has been through a lot of trials over the last several years. And so can you tell us a little bit about the school that you mentioned? So the Refuge school seems like a long time ago, just because COVID has made everything, seem so farther away, but really it's only been how many years? And can you tell us a little bit about how Calvary was involved in that process?
Yeah. Well, the school itself had been around for a while in very rundown conditions, in a facility that had about 150 students in a room that probably had no business having more than about 50. So when Jane and I saw that in 2016 or so, we decided we were going to try to do something about that. And eventually that faith step ended up being a major fundraising drive to actually build a brand new facility. Mm-hmm. And that began in 2018. Calvary is intimately involved. Many people at Calvary have visited there, have been involved in the fundraising drive, and contributed time, money, and resources to make it happen, so that by 2020, January, the school officially opened.
So if I remember right, several of our students and student community were really involved selling stickers, and basically almost like a sticker was for a brick, and we were trying to build this brick school. And we had a couple people at the church, including Drew Furry, who were involved even on kind of the engineering side and the planning side of the building of the school. So it was really exciting over the course of that year to see the pictures of going, from nothing to this raising of what is a beautiful facility. And like you said, the contrast between the first place where they were learning, which was almost like not even conducive to learning, right. To this new school has just been amazing. So I also know that schools in Haiti are very different than schools here. So can you tell us a little bit about how a student would get enrolled in the school, and how are school fees or the cost of maintaining the school, how does that happen in Haiti?
You want to take that one?
Yeah. The students usually in your neighborhood, they'll go to a local school. There's no federally run elementary schools, are mostly private, and so the kids will go to the school, and there's a fee. Kids have to wear uniforms, and a lot of the families can afford the fees to get into school. Mm-hmm. And so they'll pay as much as they can throughout the year. It depends on how well their crops are doing, or if they get extra money from their families or whatever. Right. So a lot of times the kids will have to stop going to school because they don't have the funding to go.
Right.
So,
and I know you've told me before that, Le Refuge School operates different than some other schools, because even though there is an expectation for students to pay to go to the school, if something happens, as we know often does, especially with families in Haiti where they can't pay their school fees, the children are still allowed to still come to school.
Yes.
So there's not this constant interruption in their education. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this is the school where the children who live at Project House of Hope Orphanage go to school, correct?
Right, that's
yes.
correct.
Yes.
So
And about,
yeah.
excuse me, about 60% of Haitian children do not finish elementary school.
Right.
Because of that.
Which for elementary school, is that to 5th grade, or what do they
Sixth.
consider
Sixth
grade?
grade.
Okay, so to 6th grade. So how many students does La Refuge School have?
It's about 250 now, isn't it?
And that's including elementary and high school.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so about 250 students. And the cost of running the school, because the school itself is built and paid off,
Right.
but the cost of running the school would be teacher salaries, some supplies, some ongoing maintenance costs, things like that, correct?
Right, correct.
Yeah.
So I know when you and I talked, one of the things that's been difficult is that the amount of money that it costs to run the school and the amount of money coming in, there's about $1,000 gap there a month. So once a month, there's about $1,000 gap between there. And so it's been really hard for us here at Calvary, you know, especially with everything with COVID, not being able to go and spend time with our partners there. I know many people have close relationships with the
Right.
staff and with the teachers. And so sometimes it feels like we can pray, and prayer is, you know, obviously the foundation of everything we want to do with our missions, but it's felt like, what can we do? And so Jane and I met and we talked, and we thought, we want to make an opportunity for people in the church to be able to help make up this $1,000 a month difference, so that the school is breaking even every month. I mean, it would be great if more money came in than what was needed, but, you know, so we can make up that $1,000 difference, so that the school can continue to grow and thrive and meet the needs of students without having to turn people away. So we came up with a plan. And there is a plan, and starting this Sunday, there will be a table in the lobby. We're also going to put some things in the comments here of how we can do that. So can you tell us how we can help make up that difference?
Okay, so we're going to do a sponsorship for the school, and it'll be $25 per month. And we're going to have these globes hanging up with a prayer card with a student on it. So you would come to the table on Sunday and get one of the globes, and it'll be attached to one of the cards for the students. And you'll sign up, and you can sign up on the website. We'll have the computers here that you can immediately sign up to have, if you want to have the monthly payment withdrawn out of your account each month. Or you could pay for the whole year, which would be $300 for the whole year. And then you would take this prayer card home with you with the globe, so that you can remember to pray, and specifically for the student that we give you to pray for.
Right. So the sponsorship itself is not for the student. The
Right.
student's card is just a
Prayer
prayer
card.
reminder for you, but the sponsorships would be in $25 increments, and we need 40 of those taken to be able to make up that $1,000. So you may say, okay, I can take one globe, I will commit to $25 a month. And you may say, you know what, I could take 3 globes and make a $75 a month commitment. So like Jane said, there's an easy way on their website to have that set up for automatic withdrawals. You can choose to do an annual donation instead of a monthly. But if we had 40 people or 40 of these globes taken, that might be 30 people taking 40, then that is going to bring up that difference, and then no more $1,000 deficit. So, and one of the things I love about Project House of Hope is I follow them on social media, and so you get to see updates, and it's just exciting to see. It's, even though it's far away, there's a close connection because Jane and Mike regularly travel there when conditions allow. We get video updates and things. So it's just been really neat to see that partnership grow between our church and that organization. So stop by this Sunday. If you're not going to be here this Sunday, you can check out the info hub at yourcalvary.info/Project Refuge, and we'll list everything there so that you can sign up through there to take a sponsorship, and we'll find a way to get that globe to you so that you can put that and the card somewhere to remind you to pray. So before we wrap up, is there anything else that you want to share about either Project Refuge or Project House of Hope?
Yeah, I'd just like to add that having worked in education for my entire career, I can really say that this kind of work is very impactful, because education is the backbone for future life chances for these young boys and girls. By having an education, they increase their likelihood for employability when they get older. Many people nowadays are unemployed in Haiti. Many students don't finish school, as Jane said earlier. But having a school there right in their own community that they can attend, even if they have financial struggles, positions them well for potential life chances in the future that they wouldn't have otherwise. So by contributing to this cause, you're really making a very significant impact in the lives of young men and women.
Makes a big difference. So, well, I'm really thankful for all that you both do and your passion for Haiti, for the country itself, and for the students there, and for the orphans. So, and I hope you're able to get back soon.
Thanks.
Likewise.
I know you are, really longing to go back. So, so thank you for coming and sharing your passion with us today.
Thanks, and we
And to
appreciate it.
everyone else, have a great